Hello YouTube, my name's Marie and today we're going to do a wrap-up video of everything I watched in the month of August. Sorry it's a little bit late, but better late than never, right? Now if you've watched my Wish Trend unboxing, which most people haven't, but in that video I talk about why I haven't been posting very much, and that is because I am planning a trip. So last month and probably this month I haven't watched as much TV because I'm planning to go to Korea at the end of this month. Oh my god, it's coming up so quickly. I'm terrified and excited at the same time. So, without further ado, the first thing that I kind of wrapped up in August was the beginning of the show. I was super excited for it. I just loved it. It's about a robot who takes the place of a human while the human is in a coma. A discussion about what makes someone human and can an AI grow to love the way a human loves. But near the end, you know, those themes kind of, they don't get explored as deeply as I would have wanted, especially because the romance becomes such a focal point of the show. So even though I enjoyed it, my excitement and overall just like need to watch more did go down near the end of the show, and by the time it finished I was kind of happy it was done. But overall I would give Are You Human a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a great show, it's really well produced, and the acting is impeccable, especially from our male lead who plays both the robot and the human version that the robot is pretending to be. His acting is amazing, and I will be keeping an eye on him and any of his future projects. Okay, so now the shows that I am up to date with are My ID is a Gangnam Beauty, and also 30 but 17. I have first impressions for both of those, so I'll link them down below. I am in love with 30 but 17. After every episode I need the next one. Waiting is killing me, but because I love it so much I'm willing to watch it week by week. And that is about a girl who at 17 she gets into an accident and falls into a coma and then wakes up 13 years later.
Is it 11? I think it's 11 years later.
And then it's just her experience of having to deal with losing that time and now suddenly being an adult, and what is she going to do with her life, that sort of thing. And there's an extremely cute romance developing. I'm also up to date on My ID is a Gangnam Beauty. This one, I'm only watching it week by week because I'm not engrossed in another show. So I have nothing that I am watching right now that is calling for my attention. Like the week rolls around again and I'm like, well, what do I want to watch tonight? Like I just got home from work, I'm ready to kind of like go to bed, let's watch a show. And I'm like, oh well, a new episode of Gangnam Beauty is out, I might as well watch that. Except for this last episode, it's the first time where I feel like I need the next episode. So I think it's rolling the ball, it's getting going a little bit more, and some of the issues that I talk about in my first impression, where it's really beating you over the head with its agenda, are getting better. Except for right when you think it's getting better, the next episode is a huge focus on it. So it's kind of like I'm still getting a little bit of whiplash with how political the show is. And it's interesting to me because I'm not usually one to shy away from social issues, you know, like I have schooling in the social sciences, so usually I really like that, but in my entertainment it seems, and in this show in particular, it's very heavy-handed. Okay, so the next series that I watched was Reunited Worlds. It's hard to summarize because there's so many different genres going on. It is about a boy in high school who dies from a car accident. I think I can say that. He dies in a car accident quite a few years later after all of his friends are grown up and they're adults. 17-year-old self, like when he died, gets transported into the future. And he also has certain powers. And so it's kind of like a sci-fi, fantasy, romance, mystery, because there's a mystery surrounding his death. It's quite exciting with so much going on. So I think someone is going to love Reunited Worlds. I think it's going to just be the perfect show for someone. But around episode 15, I didn't have any desire to watch anymore, so that's where I stopped. And then next I watched the first episode of Witch's Love. It's a currently airing drama. As you can imagine, it is about a witch. Almost everything about the show I feel is very mediocre. It's a very B-level production, and the main reason why I stopped is because the male lead, I only watched the first episode, so it could get better, but I had just no interest in watching any more of that. Oh, and then I watched the first 11 episodes of House Helper. Now, what the show has going for it is the female friendship. I guess I should tell you what it's about. It's about a man who is a house helper, so he's called to help someone organize, or maybe week to week he comes and cleans their house and cooks them dinner. He does that for an older gentleman, and he gets involved with a woman who inherited her house from her deceased father and neglected it, so it's a complete mess. And then to earn some money, she rents out her rooms, and that is where the female friendship comes into play. And even though the female friendship is well done, the romance and that relationship, it makes no sense to me. I don't see any chemistry between the characters, and that's why I dropped it. Again, this is one of those shows that I think someone out there will like it, and I can understand why they like it. It just wasn't working for me. Now, what is working for me, and I started watching it near the end of August, so I got to episode 18, and that is Temperature of Love. Unapologetically a romance. The romance happens very quickly between the characters, and it's a Nuno romance, and I love those romances where it's an older woman and a younger guy. I just spans a lot of years, so you see how their relationship develops from their first meeting to being in a relationship to breaking up to getting back together and it's very real, and I liked that. I think if you like K-drama romances, this is definitely one you should check out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Okay, lastly, I actually watched a Japanese webtoon for some reason. I don't know how it happened. I think it was a fan-made trailer, and it just showed up on my YouTube feed, and I just happened to click on it, became very intrigued, and that is it is about a girl, a high school student who has an abusive home life, and her parents are just awful, especially her mother. It's incredibly abusive to her, and then her father just seems to turn a blind eye and let it happen. She gets kidnapped by her stalker. At first I found this show incredibly difficult to watch because it made me uncomfortable, because it's an obvious romance between a young girl, I believe she's 14, and an older guy. I can't tell exactly how old he is. He wears a mask. I don't think it's ever explicitly said yet. And he's stalking her. Like, he's got a wall of photos of her. And usually stalkers make up a fantasy relationship with the person that they're stalking. They believe that, oh, like, they're gonna run away together, or they love me, or like, they're usually not mentally sound. they can become dangerous and violent. I had preconceptions of what a stalker is, and then this show doesn't follow that. He doesn't fit the criteria of what a stalker is in a criminology textbook. It made me uncomfortable thinking that maybe they're romanticizing this sort of relationship where she's kidnapped and then is falling in love with her kidnapper who has been stalking her. So on paper, I just found it incredibly ooh. Once I put my own preconceived notions aside and think of it as one contained relationship, like that this show isn't trying to represent anything or it's not trying to be anything other than just a unique relationship between unique individuals. If you watch it that way, it still puts you on edge. Sometimes good media doesn't have to be comfortable media. I can't wait to watch all of it, and I might even read the manga. Someone's gonna get upset at me for that. Let me know what you watched in August and what your favorites were. Mine is definitely Temperature of Love and 30 but 17. Those are my two favorites. Oh, and lastly, if you have any suggestions for places to go or things to see or whatnot while I'm in Korea, let me know down below. Mostly my trip is all planned, but I'd love to hear if you've gone there or if you live there, what you think I should see or do. Anyways, have a good day, have a good night, bye.